So yeah, it's a cool concept, but I don't think it's gonna probably work on... There's a guy? Dude, I'm so lost. I can't see him. His car's literally right here, so he probably... ran... Oh, he's... Oh my god! This dude be giving me a bigger heart attack than a grandma when her cranberry juice got stolen. Holy... What's going on, guys? My name is ExxotikGaming, and today we are back with, once again, another Rules of Survival video. Now, I play this game on iOS, Android, and PC, and I always seem to play better on my mobile devices. I realize a lot of people playing this game play on either phones or other mobile tablets, so I decided in this video to explain all the best tips and tricks for mobile players. I'm really hoping this will help you guys and finally get you to simply play better if you're playing on a mobile device. If you find this video useful, please leave a like down below. This video took a really long time to make actually, so any bit of support helps. Also, click that subscribe button for more amazing tips and tricks videos on this game. I already have a lot posted on my channel, and you guys really seem to enjoy them. Anyways, enough dilly-dallying, we need to start the video. So, depending whether or not you're on iOS or Android, there will be parts of this video where things will be a little different between the two. But to start things off, let's examine some of the more basic tips that every mobile player needs to know, regardless whether you are on an iOS or an Android device. First off, let's briefly talk about mobile settings specifically. Now, whether you have a tablet or a smaller phone, you want to be sure you don't encounter any frame drops when playing the game. I mentioned this in an earlier video titled How to Fix Lag in Rules of Survival, where if you want to check it out, I'll link it down below. But what you want to do first is spawn into the warm-up area and use that spot to your advantage. Here's the thing, the warm-up area is a place where the most amount of players are in a super concentrated area. Most of these players, whether it's 120 or even 300, will, as you know, be picking up weapons and shooting them. You're gonna have hundreds of people shooting guns at each other all at the same time in the same place. You'd better believe that's gonna cause a lot of strain on your device. What you should do is first put your phone on what you think is the right graphical setting, maybe Ultra. Then, pick up a gun, preferably a big gun, so something like the M249 or the AA-12 shotgun, or even an RPG, and start spamming that firing button. Be sure to hit players with the gun so the blood comes out, as all of this will cause processing power on your device and cause it to slow down the most. If, when you're doing this, you notice any bit of lag, then switch the setting down to the next best one, repeat the process, and get yourself to the point where you don't encounter any more times where the frame lowers. You see, this is going to help you a lot in the future. You don't want to be set on a graphical setting too high, first off, because it'll drain your device's battery a ton, and secondly, it'll cause you to die. A lot. You'll be in the middle of a building in Bitter Lake, in the heat of the moment, and when you finally catch the enemy by surprise, your frames will drop when you shoot your gun, and the enemy will win. It's a super simple tip. It's not that time-consuming, and is simultaneously one of the best tips out there, especially for mobile players in Rules of Survival. Next up, let's talk about the actual gameplay aspect of Rules of Survival because, let's face it, your gameplay experience on mobile is going to be a lot different than on a PC. First off, let's look at the basics here. Always land at populated areas if you need to get better at the game. Encountering tons of people all the time in places like Oil Factory and Training Base is going to give you the most amount of opportunities to use your guns you have picked up. If you just started playing the game, do this, and remember to never play for wins in the beginning, but rather for the experience in getting better at the game. If you land at a small spot no one else goes to, and you avoid people the entire match, you're not going to get better at the game. There's no arguing that, it's a fact. Next up, talking about how these weapons perform is really where mobile players diverge from PC players. Let's face it, it's easier to be more accurate on a PC. With mobile devices, you're using your fingers, and in general, they just can't live up to what a mouse could do. This is where your scope sensitivity is going to vary greatly. On a PC, if you were to pick up a 4x scope, for example, and shoot an M4A1 on full auto, scoped in, it'll be pretty easy to control the recoil. For mobile, however, it's much more difficult because you have a smaller screen to work with. Because of this, you'll usually have a higher sensitivity for various different scopes in the game on a mobile device than a PC. Quick, easy tip, but it'll help a lot. Also, what you should be doing is always taking advantage of the locked running system. If you need to travel a long distance to get inside the zone, you can lock your running so you don't have to sit there the entire time doing that. I've noticed when I've played shooting games like this, if I have my finger on a button for a long period of time, it ends up slowly slipping away from where it was originally placed. I can't explain it. I'll end up having to lift my finger off the phone and put it back, causing my character to stand still for a second and making myself an easy target. Seriously, never stand still in this game unless you're in a protected building or something, and that goes for any person who plays on any type of device. Just shot someone and you're heading over to loot their body? Yeah, you need to keep moving. It's a bit of an acquired skill, but just do like what literally any other streamer does on any Battle Royale game. Rules of Survival, Fortnite, PUBG, you name it. They will always move their character around just a bit, not too much, but just enough so when they're distracted looting, if someone tries shooting at them, they'll have a much lower chance of hitting every single shot. I have to say, it is easier to move while looting on mobile devices rather than a PC, at least in my opinion, but it'll still be weird at first if you've never done it before. Keep practicing because that's so important, and you'll notice yourself not dying as many times to stupid reasons. Hey, now that we talked about standing still, and how when you're still, you're a super easy target, what about running? What if you're running in a straight line with run lock on, and all the enemy has to do is line up the shot and easily take you out? There's a way you can make yourself safer when you are running through open areas and creepy guys with snipers are trying to shoot you in the butt. Every so often, jump and move around in an erratic fashion. You should do this actually quite frequently, because if you are constantly moving around in a weird way, to someone far away, it's going to be super hard to hit you. Rules of Survival is a really easy game in that there's no travel time with weapons. With most of the weapons, I should say. So it'll be super easy for people to line up those headshots on you if you're running in a predictable manner. So just don't run in a straight line. It's probably not the best idea. Probably the most important tip I can give you guys is regarding sensitivity. I've mentioned this in past videos, but it's so important. In order to get the perfect horizontal sensitivity for your Rules of Survival game, what you need to do is jump into the warm-up area and press the center of your screen like I've done right here. Move your finger from left to right and see if you can comfortably do a 180 degree, or a bit more, turn in either direction. If you can do that, you're good. If you can't, adjust your sensitivity accordingly. Here's the thing. You don't want to be sitting there desperately swiping your finger when someone is shooting you from behind. You'll die if you're stuck in that situation. Having a sensitivity that allows you to do a 180 right or left will make it so on the first swipe of your finger, you'll spot the enemy and you'll be able to get the kill. Now, here's a couple of oddball tricks only mobile players will need to worry about. Have you ever played Rules of Survival on your mobile device with it at decent battery, but then all of a sudden you get low battery and you have to attempt to play with this big cord sticking out the side of it? I'm sure most people have experienced this, and to any who haven't, you will experience this at some point. You probably notice all the controls are messed up when you're charging your device because your hand is in a slightly different position. There's a weird but effective way to combat this. It might sound dumb, but play the game with the charging cord stuck into your device even if you're not charging it. Here's the thing. This way, you'll start to get used to this weird feeling, and you can adjust your controls to how they should be with a charging cord attached. Then, when you actually need to charge your device, all the buttons are still going to be the same. You're still going to hold the phone the same way. It's weird, it's dumb, but it works. Let's look at another thing. Are you ever desyncing in the game or noticing any bit of lag due to poor connection problems? That might actually be caused by slow Wi-Fi. If you're playing in an area like Cambodia or the Philippines or maybe remote Alaska like I was in this summer, there's a very good chance cell data in your area might be better than the available Wi-Fi. You could try turning off your Wi-Fi and seeing if the game runs any better. Be careful though. If you're watching this and you're young and on your parents' phone plan, be sure you aren't going to burn through all the gigabytes if you do this. You'd make them really, really mad. A couple of other tips to make your game run better: close out all other apps. Also, every so often, close out Rules of Survival and turn your device off and on again. By doing this, you're going to clear out cache the device has, it'll cool down your device, and you'll see a noticeable improvement. Hey, here's another thing. Always use headphones. It doesn't matter if it's a full-blown gaming headset or just the default earbuds Apple gives you, you need to use headphones to hear where the enemies are. Their footsteps are louder than yours, and their gunshots can be heard even from far away, so you can find someone before they find you if you're listening properly. How are you supposed to know where an enemy is in your building if you're playing with no headphones, the game only at half volume, and you're in a noisy place like your grandma's house for Thanksgiving dinner? You can't. So don't put yourself in that situation. It's really simple. Also, I personally feel more immersed in a game anyways when I've blocked out background sounds and I hear the game in my ears. It makes me feel like I'm there, and I feel more concentrated. A few more tips that may not necessarily be specific for mobile players, but you should definitely know. Try not to loot the bodies of players you killed directly after you shoot them. People will be looking in that direction. Wait a bit so other enemies lose interest, and you can loot with a bit more peace in mind. You might even get some other person that's coming up to the spot that you killed. You can get a second free easy kill right then and there. Also, always look at the top bar and the minimap to see where footsteps are coming from. It won't tell you if they're coming from above or below you, but it will tell you if the enemy is in front or behind you. And be sure to crouch when in buildings. Crouching makes your footsteps invisible, and you can sneak up on enemies without them ever knowing you were there. Pretty cool stuff. And hey, with that being said, we're out of time for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new. I personally play much better on mobile than on PC, and I use all of these tips on a day-to-day basis when I'm playing Rules of Survival. This will help you out a ton, and after you master all of them, you'll become a much more confident and impressive Rules of Survival player. Hey, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you thought the video was well made, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Rules of Survival content, and, completely unrelated and completely random, I have a video idea that's way different than what I normally do on this game, and I wanted you guys to comment down below if you want to see it. When I visited Cambodia in 2015, I was offered marijuana soup by some locals. It was weird. The video would kind of be like a story video with background gameplay, but hey, let me know if you want to see that. Okay, I'll stop talking. Thanks for sticking around until the end. I'll see you guys later.